Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Get ready for Gnosis. Well, as we continue in this bizarre, strange, and very dangerous new reality we're living in, it's important that people get the necessary tools, the edge to survive in this society. And there's several critical areas. I'm going to talk to one right now. We've been trying to move into producing and do now have some basic radionic tools which are critical for your survival. Our tools are very advanced, very easy to use, and there's of course a mass amount of misinformation, government disinformants producing a lot of junk that they're throwing on the market. It appears that no one really has done their research, but there's also a great push from the disinformation people. People have been around for many, many years that have been selling you fraudulent junk tools polluted with their evil energies. Just a fact, whether people like that or not. I mean, many of these people are self-stated that they are evil Satanists. And of course, they've been backed by criminal organizations and the government to get out disinformation. They want you to have junk so it doesn't work. People who are manufacturing radionic instruments are almost all of them building pretty junky stuff. Now, if they're not electric units and they are not Satanists, there is a certain okayness about them. But, I've reviewed most of these units and some are okay. They're just psychic tuners. But the problem with psychic tuners is the fact that they are super low in energy. So if you have a non-electric unit, you must upgrade using the very specialized tube amplification and transmitters that the IGOS offers. Now, don't be fooled to think that these are just common tube amps and transmitters. Now, if we were to make these from scratch, the prices would be 10 times what they are. They are modified from high-quality, well-made products bought in China, and we look at them, check them out, make sure they're working well. While China produces a lot of garbage, their electronic products are very high quality and very inexpensive. We use special sigil and other technologies to actually change the energetic patterns of these tools. So don't think that they are just tube amps or transmitters. So if you just think you're going to use that, if you think you're going to get results from it, you're not. Radionic energies are special energetic informational fields, and you need to have soaked up and transferred or changed energetic patterns for these tools to work for them. That's why we put so many things on our unit. Sacred geometries, tachyons, and other things that you are unaware of that is part of our proprietary system. So it's important that you get our units. It's also important that you support proper, balanced researchers working for the good of mankind. So if you buy from other people and so forth, you are supporting their evil patterns. And it's just a fact, people. I put these on here of who's involved in the radionic industry, particularly within the United States. And they are unabashedly Satanists. Every single one of them. You think it's funny buying from people like that with their little jokies and their past histories? Well, you're supporting a great negativity, and these people are doing nothing to help society, and their technology is junk. Secondly, if you think you're going to use our basic understandings, well, you're not getting that. And again, that's a big mistake. These are not just regular tubes. These are not just amplifiers. These are not just transmitters. They are specially designed, and we have changed the energetic pattern in them permanently by using certain sigils. So this is how it works, and then putting special items on there. This is not a joke. But even the fact of just copying that is a low-level mentality thing to do. You don't have the technology. You don't have 50 years of research behind you like I do. I'm the #1 expert on this planet in radionics and subtle energies and have been for quite some time. Nobody has done the research I've done. You can look at our YouTube page and see all the machines that I have that I've reviewed and went through. Nobody else has this on the planet. And I have looked through it. I know what works, etc. So if you're going to believe the fantasies that other people want to tell you about, well, they're liars, and let them back it up. So the whole idea is they don't. And you're quite possibly bringing in a giant negative machine that is going to hurt you, as what's done in the tire orgone industry, which basically have made people sick. And there is a fairly long line of dead orgone practitioners who have used this toxic technology. So all of this needs to come to an end, people, and what we are offering right now is very far advanced. And of course, it is just still the tip of the iceberg of basic empowered symbolic energies. But the bottom line is that radionics is a psychic process. This psychic process must be amplified. Now, if you want to triple the power of your radionic machine, you can do that. Any tools that you're using, you can triple the power of it by getting our accessory pack, which means you get an amplifier. This usually includes a copper plate that connects to the amplifier, meaning that anything you put on the copper plate will be sent into the amplifier, and it will be tripled in power, and it will then be at a very low level transmitted into the cosmos. Now, these work as carrier waves and everything else, but it's important that you have these steps. But we actually, in our technology, and these machines have been converted so that they are able to pick up these kind of energies, which are not common. We are not sending in Hertzian energies. These are not audio energies. None of these things. Radionics is a very unique, informational, energetic, subtle energy field that you have to be able to grab and amplify properly. And nobody is doing it except IGOS. Well, we're the only people that really know anything. You're going to get a box that really is just wires. And yes, these work as psychic tuners. Then other people put their toxic trash in it. So we get on and on. I mean, you got people making circuit board radionic machines that are the lowest level junk I've ever seen, stating they are experts in the field. They don't get it. Then you see these same boobs putting Hertzian electricity through it, Tesla coils and other things. Boy, you don't know what you're doing. It's unbelievable. You can't equate radionics with Hertzian standard energetic fields, or not energetic fields, I should say. Standard electrical fields, Rife-type fields, have nothing to do with radionics. And people are being misled this way. They are completely out in the cold. This stuff doesn't work. It's junk. And the people that are their shills are really the most disturbed people that know nothing. So any type of tool would have worked for them, and they're being suckered into junk that won't work for them. So the whole idea is this is what happens. So you can triple any device that you have. Now, there are lots of devices out there. Even if you have an electric one, it's not amplified properly. So if it's not amplified properly, if you're not using IGOS technology, you're getting nowhere with it. You have nothing more than a psychic tool. And that's why we've offered so many symbolic tools. But our tools are very different. Our symbolic tools have all sorts of things built into them. They're not one little pattern. They are very energetic in nature, which is the reason why they work so well. But, symbolic machines are not enough for most people. Certainly they help you. They're reasonably priced, and you get a really nice little symbolic box from us at a very low cost. But the bottom line is that these are for common little problems. Now, I'm not sure people have that many common little problems. You need to amplify this. If you don't have an amplified unit, then don't really expect. I'm amazed how people think that they can get one little sticker, a t-shirt, or a cup, and that's going to replace having a proper machine because they want to get into it cheaply. Well, that's kind of ridiculous. It's like trying to enter a automobile race with a bicycle. Certainly you'll get around the track with it, and it'll get you from A to B, but you're not going to be able to compete with or get the kind of results that you get from an automobile. You have to understand it. These are great tools. Using more of these in your life is better. Giving you that little amplification, using a box which will stimulate your thought forms up to, 100 times of what you normally can do. It's a fantastic tool for you. And we have lots of people that have gotten excellent results, but this doesn't replace an amplified machine. People want to jump ahead and get something at a very low cost that'll do what a higher cost model will. Well, that's absurd. It just doesn't make any sense. And if people want to live in that reality, that's it. That is a foolish way of operating. You need to get proper units. Now, if you have a unit, and there seems to be an awful lot of units out there that have been electrified and many that haven't, you need the upgrades, and you will get 3 times, if not more. It's probably more like 10 times the power that you're going to get from those units, because it's able to pick up these specific energies, amplify them dramatically, and start manifesting them in your life as soon as possible. We have stresses in this world right now that are to the point that it is critical. Every level of life is critical. And if you're not using good technology, if you think you're going to save your life, take care of serious health problems and other things, manifest high levels of finances in your life with a simple little design, well, it doesn't work that way. Now, it does help and dramatically amplifies your thought form. That's what symbolic units do, and we have special symbols. They're just not that pattern. There's all sorts of things built into them, amplifiers and other things, but they're still on that particular non-physical level, and they do work, and depending on your abilities is how fast and powerful they are, but they still don't come close to the kind of power that you get from an amplified unit. So it's very, very important to understand that. It's very important that you know what you need to really get it. These are minor investments in your life. So everybody ought to be getting our new upgrades. Now, these upgrades are listed with the Radionic machines. If you click on the Radionic button there, you'll get a selection of what you can actually buy. And these are different units. So we have the upgrades there available, as well as the entire unit. So if you have a tuning device, well, you don't necessarily need a symbolic box. The problem is you do need our rate cards, which again have these powerful, energetic sigils built into this very powerful number system. Now, people have found that the numbers, by just looking at them and meditating on them for a few minutes, have produced amazing results. I mean, this has been documented by Gravani and his rates that he produced. So the point is all rates work like that. It's the rate that's the key in your consciousness that activates it. But this is still at a very low level. You do not have the capacity. You are not psychically empowered. You are probably not even very well. You probably have all sorts of parasites and funguses and other things in your system stopping you from manifesting. If you're not using amplification, you're not going to get good results, period. Some people have, and it's based on numbers of what things work for people in terms of enough people try it. Well, a few psychically strong people may get some results. But the bottom line is you have to have an empowered tool. Our rate cards are empowered. They have sigils that, again, are amplifying the numbers. But ultimately, you need to have a proper amplified tool. You are being foolish if you don't have one of these tools that only really cost, in terms of the amplifiers, $400 to $500, depending on what units they're there. You need to have our rate cards. If you don't have your rate cards, you are lost. All of this is important, and I hear stories, and people are buying expensive junk from lots of other people for some bizarre reason. We are slowly getting involved in all this, but I'm afraid that the manufacture of certain items is a tenuous process. There are years and years of research going into this, and there are lots of people that don't do their jobs and follow through. A lot of these people have been deliberately sent to IGOS to make sure we don't get you the quality products. While this does delay us, it doesn't stop us. So the whole idea is that we are out there and providing these things, and you need to support IGOS because no one else is doing anything but selling you expensive junk or cheap junk. Any way you look at it, it's junk, and they don't know what they're doing. Now, if you depend on these things, you're going to be in a bad hole. So it's going to be major problems that you're going to put yourself into, and you're not going to be able to get yourself out of them. Get the right tools, make a very minor investment, and move on in your life. So the whole idea is that this is a serious problem out there for people who need to understand what they do. So you need to have proper amplification no matter what tool you're using. I don't care how advanced it is. I don't care how electronic or computery it is. You need proper amplification. Nobody's amplifying their devices properly, regardless if there are positive people or not. all of these tools are horribly weak, and that includes every single unit on the market. Our basic units are the most powerful ever produced. With our cards, they're unstoppable compared to anybody else's. Now, the problem is that you think something else because you've been brainwashed and given fantasy lies by people. And you will pay the price for following fools. Fools that you follow make you a fool. And ultimately, the fool you followed skips away laughing at you with full pockets of money, and you're left in a hole suffering and dying. So this is the reality of the world when you follow fools. So it's important to get out there and get these important tools if you have any machine, and I mean any machine out there. I've looked at them all, and none of them are amplified properly. They're following old technologies that people know nothing about. These older machines may or may not have worked to a certain degree. Well, we don't really know from those things. I do know, I've done the research, and I've gotten fantastic results. But the point is, you have to get out there and start using the right technology. You cannot personally tune rates in. You can't do it. You don't have the skill. It's for professionals. You need to get the rates. Now, you can train to do this. You can learn through the iOS system, and you will be able to do this over time. This is not something that any stooge off the street can grab a machine like they tell you and be able to tune it. I laughed my head off listening to one bozo's, "My 4-year-old child was able to do it and he's retarded." No, you're the retarded one, baby. They can't use this. They can't sense these things. This is high evolutionary training that has to be done. And that's what all the practitioners who got great results, no matter whom they are, from past histories or even present, these are professionals that know what they're doing. So the whole idea is being able to sense rates or numbers on your dials, tune them in correctly, is a very difficult process. And when people tell you it isn't, they're lying to you. Can you dowse? Can you sense energies? Some people can't at all. The amount of people that tell me they can't dowse is about 98% of the public. They can't use pendulums. They can't dowse well. Well, you're not going to get any results with radionic machines. Those 2% that may be able to actually dowse it may not be able to do it through a machine. This is professional. In the olden days, the actual people you got these machines from would give you rates or a rate book for particular problems, and you would put them in the machine. You never got your own rates. You never could. That's the way it is. So I've made an entire lecture on that. So wake up, people. Triple the power of your machine. Get the upgraded kits that we offer right now. And they're very limited right now as we're bringing up our production after stopping it and having to restart it because of problems within the organization. And we are now getting into full gear again. But these are limited. Get your orders in now. Get in line for this great technology and start working at high levels. It's just started the problems we have. Don't believe that anything we've been going through in the last couple of years is ending. The fantasy of an instant result from some bogus vaccinations is not going to work. They're going to be causing 10 times the problems. And it's not over. And that's not the only thing. The point is these happen every year and they're going to get worse and worse. You need to strengthen your energetic informational energy. Your subtle energies around you, which are non-physical, need to be strengthened so that they assist you. So things don't enter into the physical because you block them in the non-physical. It's a complicated and subtle energy physics that very few people understand except myself, who's the only qualified expert in this field in the world. So I have a doctorate in subtle energy physics, and that is the reality of it. So everyone needs to get on to this and get onto it now. And if you don't, you're kidding yourself, people. You're kidding yourself that you're getting something from somebody who has no idea what they're doing, and that's somehow going to help you. What background do they have? What are they giving you? Well, you have some of this junk, and because they're basically just nothing more than psychic tuners, well, they are probably, some are and some aren't. I mean, there are units out there that the dials spin around. You don't even have a beginning and an end. I mean, this is absurd. So the whole idea is that you have to be able to amplify whatever you're putting in it anyway. So I highly recommend Bankston's book called The Energy Cure. Now here's a guy who's getting results from psychic healing for 30 years, documented in a scientific fashion. Well, get the information, know what's going on. That's subtle energy physics. But what do we do with psychic energy? Well, we need to empower them and boost those energies up because they're very weak. You can't concentrate. You can't hold a thought in your mind. You have no idea what you're doing. Those psychic passages are basically never been used. They're full of cobwebs. The energies aren't flowing through. None of this stuff you have opened up. Now, we teach you how to do all this, but no, you want cookie cutter junk. And the point is, life ain't like that. So if you want to live in the cookie cutter fantasy, you want to buy the fantasies portrayed by all of these hucksters and cheats out there, well, then you're part of the problem. Plain and simple. So everybody who has a machine, or in general, you should be getting an amplified system. I mean, you can put your thought forms right into that copper plate and send them in there as well. You don't need any other machine. All you have to do is put your right hand on there and send the energies out. What you've done is now, basically it's 100 times more powerful than your regular thought form you've just sent out. That easy. Write it on a piece of paper, drop it on there. All of this works. Now, when you start using the system properly, you're using a symbolic or a tuning box, you're using one of our rate cards, well, this dramatically amplifies things. And when you're talking about subtle energy physics and these subtle, weak, energetic fields, you're talking about things that are need to be amplified properly to get serious results. Plain and simple. So it's all there. Time to wake up, time to get your upgrades, get on the list, go to the ordering. I will leave a link down below where you can get this as a specific listing on our new SE store, and this is the place to order. So give us a little time here, but now's the time to get on the waiting list, people. Now's the time to get out there and be part of this new evolution in man where you're empowering the informational energetic fields around you that control all of the universe, that ultimately go down to a point where they start affecting other matter. But the bottom line, if your subtle energy fields are not in the positive empowerment stage, well, everything else in your life falls. This is just a fact. So I hope everybody has had that clear. I am always available by email if you have any questions or that you would like to answer. But the point is that you can follow the masses of losers, or you can get technology that has been proven to work by a person who's been in this field for over 50 years. So it's important that you understand that. I'm author of over 25 books, 5 courses. I've been interviewed on the BBC, CNN, and other places. If that really means anything, not really, because these people are jerks. So the whole idea is that it doesn't mean. But I have been in this field. No one else has even a 5% of the knowledge that I have. They're selling one particular machine they've made, and what have they really done with it? Some people have been selling machines for over 30 years, and what have they been doing with it? Well, there certainly isn't much feedback there on any level whatsoever. So the whole idea is that a simple amplification of the energies that you're putting in there is the place to start. Do it now. Do it while you can. Get the best and start changing your life.